we have and how it's worked, and essentially what we're trying to do is to simply modify that and not wholesale throw out the requirements that we have.
One of the things you addressed in here was if someone has changed their information with D&D and it doesn't match what's on the poll book, or it doesn't match their driver's license, the actual driver's license, that can be taken care of. But one of the things we saw during the election was that people would be listed one way in the poll book and another way on their ID. They might have a middle initial, there might be a maiden name, a married name, something like that. Did you do anything to address that issue of that discrepancy?
Not quite on that particular issue. Sometimes that would be the basis for a mismatch when the two databases or the three databases, because there's also the Social Security Administration database, would talk to each other. One of the things that I neglected to mention was that when a person would change their address with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, we believe that that should automatically serve to update their address in the voter database as well. With the two databases being able to talk to each other, one of the things that we're discussing in finalizing a memorandum of understanding for data matching is essentially basically when a person updates their address, that update can also serve in the voter database. We have legislation in place that already allows that to occur, and the difficulty has been with how the Bureau of Motor Vehicles would communicate with the various county databases or with the Secretary of State's database to communicate that back. And so in the process of working out an agreement with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles on how we implement HAVA, the Help America Vote Act, and how these two interact successfully so that they're not snagging voters who shouldn't be set aside as a mismatch for further investigation by a board. That is one of the issues that we're addressing.
So I'm confused. So say you have one ID that says Christopher D. Redfern and another one that says Chris Redfern. And so how would it work then? You're saying
well, already that would be sufficient for the person to be able to vote. If it's I don't know his middle initial, whatever it is. If it's,
I'm guessing.
Let's just say it's Jonathan Myers, and obviously we want Myers spelled correctly, but in one it may be John, and the other it may be Jonathan. The election officials already have the ability to make that work because the directives that they have talk about substantially conform, and so and especially if it's a photo ID, they can look at the person, they can see that it's the same person, and it may be reflected one way. I think a lot of people may not be completely consistent in how they fill out different forms, and then they end up in databases that way. We want to ensure that that isn't a reason for listing them as a mismatch, but I think it's already provided for in the procedures that we have that that person would not be relegated to a provisional ballot, and that the voter ID laws wouldn't negate their being able to vote.
Was that a problem in the 2008 election?
Not. The only thing, not that we're aware of, unless it caused some type of a mismatch on when the databases talk to each other.